for another all kinds of awesome, record recommendation. As I said before, I really don't do reviews. My ears are magical. So I honestly just like to, recommend what I think you should listen to. So let's get right to it. Today, tonight, what we're gonna do is Cream's Disraeli Gears. Once again, I can't tell if I'm in frame. I'm not watching myself in the real time. So hopefully everything's okay. Once again, this is Cream's Disraeli Gears. A lot of times people are gonna think that maybe you automatically think I'm gonna talk about Eric Clapton. He's pretty good. The main thing I like about this album is, Ginger Baker's drumming. He is a heck of a drummer. Quick side note, a lot of people don't know that the reason why, redheads are called gingers is because of Ginger Baker. Ginger Baker just happened to be an amazing drummer who had red hair, and, Ginger Baker, redhead, it's how these things happen. If you've seen the Led Zeppelin 4 album review, you'll notice that I was in the bushes on the picture on the wall. I'm also in this on this album cover too. I was hanging out with Jack Bruce and the guys from Cream, and Ginger Baker and that guitarist of theirs, that Eric Clapton or whatever his name was. It's kind of hard to see. They really just got my shadow. But once again, I apologize if I'm not in frame, but that's me right there. Another one of those situations where I happen to be at the right place at the right time because I knew somebody, or I was a dog walker, or I was a roadie for a band, or I just happened to be at the right place at the right time. It happens to me quite often, and it was one of those moments. They were making a scrapbook of photos, and I happened to be there. They're like, "Oh, hey, you're Artemus Toast, the world's greatest guitarist." I was like, "Yeah, that's me." And they're like, "Well, let's get a picture." And the reason why they just did the silhouette, because they didn't want to take away from these guys. They worked hard making this record. So if I was on the cover, they would be like, Jack who, Ginger who, and that other Eric Clapton who, so that's why they just did, my shadow. Another interesting thing about this album is, if you watched my previous videos, you know that I'm a custom Gibson SG, no relation to Debbie Gibson, Gibson Guitar Corporation, SG fanatic. I have my very own special modified. I've yet to include it on one of my guitar reviews that keep getting messed up, or one of my music reviews, but I will. But going back to what I was getting at, quick side note in relation to this, that guy that used to be the guitar player for Cream when they formed that, Eric Clapton guy, he was playing the Gibson SG at this time, and when I happened to be there, it was a colorful one, kind of, not my particular taste, but he had this SG, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, Artemus Toast, you want to play this?" And I shredded it so heavily that I wore out the neck. There's literally smoke coming from it, and I handed it back to that Eric Clapton guy, and Fender Stratocasters ever since. Go figure. Some people aren't meant for a Gibson SG. I am. But unfortunately not his. I shredded it to death. But back to the record. Cream, Disraeli Gears. I'm going to mention two tracks on here I'm really a big fan of. And they're actually the first two tracks of side one. Strange Brew. Fantastic track. considering I didn't write it. You know, real nice groove to it. You know, Ginger Baker, the Redheads, you know, jazz-inspired drums, you know, had a nice snap to them, you know, really nice drum sound. Um, you know, and then track 2, Sunshine of Your Love, another great track. Some okay guitar work in there. Drums and bass are fantastic. Um, you know, as a culmination, you know, even if, you know, that Eric Clapton's not that good of a guitarist and he can't bring it to another level, you know, Bruce and Baker are such good rhythm section that they just, you know, they could cover up those flaws or you know, if they're high tens and you know, the guitarist is, you know, hanging around a 7, they could average it out to about a 9, you know, so it still makes what I would consider um, an all kinds of awesome album. Highly recommend listening to it. Once again, you've seen yesterday's video, phone's broke, so I'm going to have to Artemus Toast out. Look at my finger, woo, hitting the button, Artemus Toast out.